Learning how to use Blender in 30 days, day 3. So today I was experimenting with modifiers a little bit and experimenting with how they work. I haven't used them that much. I actually haven't used them at all. And so it's kind of fun playing around with them and seeing how they work and how I could use them in the future for creating stuff and how they could really help me out. One of the main modifiers I was experimenting with was the mirror modifier, where you basically create something and it'll mirror it on the other side of whatever axis, X, Y, or Z, and you can choose which axis it mirrors. You can choose X, Y, or Z, or you can choose two of them or all of them. But yeah, it's a very nice tool. If you're trying to create like anything symmetrical, it's just a very good tool. It's pretty easy to use. You just put in you go to the modifiers and you look through, and I think it's in because there's different categories of modifiers, and I forget what the category was. I think it was generate, because it basically creates more geometry, I guess. And so you put the mirror modifier, and then you can create multiple objects. And there's a couple other modifiers I was fooling around with and experimenting with how they work. There's a lot of them, and they're really confusing, and it's really hard to figure out how they all work. And I do want to learn how a lot of them work. I don't know if I'll ever be able to learn in this challenge. I'm not trying to learn everything in this challenge. I'm not trying to learn everything. I'm just trying to learn a lot of the main things. So I'm not going to focus on all of the modifiers and whatnot. I'm going to try to focus on the main things like main modeling stuff. I also soon want to get into texturing and animating a little bit. Mainly texturing. 'Cause texturing is something I've always had trouble with. Which modeling, I feel like I've gotten a bit better at modeling, and I do want to create some models here soon, like think of some actual projects. But as far as everything goes, I just need to learn really just need to learn how to texture surfaces, and I think if I can figure that out, that's gonna be the hardest part. But once I learn that, I feel like I'd be set. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna learn. I might spend the next couple days learning more about modeling, but then I'm gonna try to get into texturing a bit so I can have that down. And then do some animating as well. Maybe think of a couple like projects to work on, and not just do some random experimenting. Think of some actual projects. I don't know, I'll have to think of some stuff. But yeah. Anyways, that's it for today's episode in the challenge. I'll see you guys tomorrow.